Have you ever wondered how some people could do the things that they do? You see them commit atrocious sins and you think, how could somebody do that? How could they not feel guilty for doing that? Sometimes we feel guilty for sin, but sometimes we don't. In fact, guilt isn't even a feeling the way it's described in the Bible. Guilt isn't something that you feel. Guilt is something that exists in the mind of God. He says whether you're guilty or not. It's got nothing to do with your feelings. In Leviticus chapter 5, verses 17 through 19, now if a person sins and does any of the things which the Lord has commanded not to be done, though he is unaware, still he is guilty and shall bear his punishment. He is then to bring to the priest a ram without defect from the flock, according to your valuation, for a guilt offering. So the priest shall make atonement for him concerning his error, in which he sinned unintentionally and did not know it. And it will be forgiven him. It is a guilt offering. He was certainly guilty before the Lord. Here we have a description of somebody who was unaware of their sin. They sinned unintentionally, but yet they were guilty of that sin before God. If they didn't even know that they did it, then they couldn't have been feeling guilty for sinning. But yet they were guilty in God's mind. Only God determines whether we're guilty or not based upon what we do. When we disobey God, we're guilty. In the Old Testament, they had that sin forgiven them when they went to the priest and they offered their sacrifice. And then it was forgiven them. And only then. But today, we have our guilt removed through Christ. He is our guilt offering in Isaiah chapter 53. But the only way that that works is if we obey him and we follow his commands. And then when we do that, then we are cleansed by his blood. You don't have to feel guilty to be guilty. If God says for you to do something and you don't do it, you are guilty. If he tells you not to do things and you do them, you are guilty. You need God's forgiveness to remove the guilt from his mind.